Yeah.
On to the Bet365 game of the week. That's what I'm coining this game. And big one, big rivalry game in Kentucky, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Louisville at Rupp against the Cats. Compound projecting Kentucky as an 11-point home favorite. I, Justin Perry, had the displeasure of watching Louisville cover 34 plus freaking minutes against Duke on Sunday before Duke and their defense took over late and covered the 9-point spread, which I got, by the way, over at Bet365. Not fun.
Yeah.
You were on Louisville?
Oh, yeah, because we love Louisville over shot quality, and it's killing me.
Tell me why.
Well, very, very plainly, Eli, they're getting good looks. They're getting good looks, right? That's not the problem. Their shot selection is 28th in the nation. Their spacing is 13th in the nation. All right. Their rebounding rates look pretty good. Their rim and three rate 23rd in the nation. Their spacing looks great. They're forcing turnovers. They're efficient at attacking the rim. But, you know, they're only shooting 33% in the mid-range. We're expecting 49%. They're only shooting 27% from deep. We're expecting 36%. I mean, this is an efficiency differential of, you know, close to 9% of points being left on the table. Imagine if they scored 9% more points on every possession. That is not a joke. So eventually that's got to kind of come around. We don't really like the D word. No one's really due for anything. But the fact of the matter is that the process in which this team is developing their shots and defending opponents gives way to winning more often than not. And I am going to continue losing money on them, or they're going to start winning games, Eli. There's no if and or but about it. You do not sit third in adjusted shot quality and not figure it out. Either the shot quality numbers are going to go down and they're going to stop developing good looks and they're going to miss those two, or they're going to start winning. There's no other way that's going to happen. Those are the only two possibilities.
I agree. Justin, this was my favorite handicap on the Saturday card.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want to call it, like, as you touched on, no one is due for anything. Nothing is a lock in any sport, for that matter. Just watch the last two Monday Night Football games if you had either of the dogs. But both teams, just looking at this thing broadly for a second, both teams coming off losses against the spread in a look-ahead spot to this rivalry game. Louisville almost losing outright to UTEP, which ranks 128th in adjusted shot quality. Both teams, as you noted, top 15 in shot quality offensively, and not very surprising when Louisville ranks 6th in three-point attempt rate. So Pat Kelsey wants to run a modern offense. Louisville is doing it, but they're not hitting shots. Just plain and simple, 27.1%.
Just missing.
Right, just missing open shots. 341st in three-point efficiency across Division I college basketball. Now, here's the really tough part of the handicap. Is Kentucky going to get bet up to the spot where Louisville is valuable per the numbers? Yes. But depth-wise, like we saw against Duke, does Louisville have enough run in them for a full 40 minutes or 40 minutes plus to cover a double-digit point spread against a dare I say, top 5, top 10 offense, especially when you look at the sets, the beautiful sets that Mark Pope runs. Yep. So Louisville with the injury on their injury front, no Pryor out for the season. Corin Johnson, the Washington transfer, also out long-term, and so is Traore, which has really affected Louisville's rebounding at both ends. Also affects scoring when you look at the combined numbers for all three of those players. Kentucky, though, this is the interesting part of the cap. Kentucky allowing opponents to shoot 26.3% from deep, and that's not all. Opponents are shooting 27.6% on unguarded threes.
Yep.
You look at Chucky Hepburn. If Lamont Butler doesn't go for Kentucky, that is a big advantage for Hepburn and this Louisville offense until Mark Pope switches Otega Owe onto Hepburn, which we saw is going to happen eventually, like he did against Gonzaga in the second half when he flipped Owe onto Nembhard and the game completely flipped in the second half, along with some beautiful coaching adjustments from Mark Pope overall. when is Jackson Robinson going to get exposed defensively? When is Andrew Carr going to get exposed defensively? It's hit or miss there because he is a really good rebounder in space. But Jackson Robinson, even though he played the best by far game at both ends of the court against Gonzaga, especially in the second half and in overtime, Hepburn would have a plus matchup offensively if Butler, who's a pest defensively and then some, is still out for Kentucky at home. Really difficult game to go against Kentucky at Rupp, but this is the plug your nose spot if you're looking for one on Saturday.
I mean, Louisville in Haslametrics, shout out Eric Haslam, who I know is a good friend of the show. Away from home rating, first, 5.46. Consistency rating, 340th, minus 12.29. Momentum, 350th, minus 3.22. So you try figuring it out, listener at home. Then, yeah, this is a little bit of a roll of the dice. I think, but that is often a stigmatized term in betting, but I think it is stigmatized because we are so often focused on the favorite. And when you have a roll of the dice, I love an underdog. I love a good price on a variable opportunity, right? I think that if you're going to take a little Louisville, if you're going to bet them, Eli, you cannot do yourself the disservice of not at least sprinkling on the money line, because there is a reality. There is a reality where they can win this game. There is just a reality, and I would bet I would assume if you think the spread has value, you should get that same little bit of value on a money line. I'll have it for like a tenth of a unit, real small. But look, they are developing good shots. The minute they start to fall, it'll be interesting. But again, the problem is, especially with shot quality, which really does use only game data. When you do lose a player who has been a big part of like the first third of the season, you do have to take a big grain of salt. So so they're high up, but we're definitely going to discount them a bit. We're not just going to go in blind and say, okay, well, nothing crazy's happened that would change these rankings, right? No, something obviously crazy has happened, and you can't just look at the 3-point rates anymore because they're not the same team that they were in the first 7 games. So tough game to bet. Very tough game to bet. That's the final word.
Kentucky, by the way, plus 450 to make the Final Four at Bet365 Sportsbook. And mind you, with the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes up by 18 points or more with the instant payout offer on college basketball straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners at Bet365. Available for all users. Remember that the first-time customer deposit bonus, which is where you could sign up with the promo code the lines one word, and receive $200 in bonus bets with your first $5 wager, is only available for new customers. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. If you want to be a square and bet Kentucky when they go up by 20 points in the first half and Louisville shooting 10% from 3, you're going to win your bet early on is what we're telling you. So listen, Justin and I are going to crunch to the numbers. Louisville is going to be a bet when they get up to plus 14 pregame, and then they're going to get blitzed in the first half and somehow backdoor cover on a miracle Chucky Hepburn shot with 14 seconds left in regulation.
Let's get it. I'm ready.